Hi, good day, good night, good evening, depending on what time you happen to be watching this. Welcome to another episode of House of Stars. I am your girl Starre, and today, as you can see from the title, um, this is kind of like a RANT video or just something that was just on my spirit that I felt like I needed to talk about. And I think it's something that like I had to do with, my personal journey and kind of like what I'm going through, but I just felt like I was initially went online to do a live feed, which would be ridiculous to do at this time because it's like 20 to 4 a.m. here in Toronto. And I went on, and like obviously everybody is sleeping, or at least well most of my subscribers, they're sleeping. But I thought I'd take a chance. But I almost feel like God made me get up to try to do the live feed, but in actuality, He wanted me to sit and talk with you. So, like, tell me how you guys feel about having these discussions with you. Like, if you guys like them or you want to see more. But I'm just kind of going straight on God's guidance right now. And I think that what I want to talk about is God's plan. You know what I mean? Since I've rededicated my life to the Lord, one thing that we kind of have, the mythology that we have in spirituality, of course, especially New Age, is that you can manifest your realities, which is very true. But a lot of times what ends up happening is that when you're too focused on what it is that you want, not enough about paying attention to what situations and how they're being presented to you, it gets you in a place of either feeling very discouraged or even spiraling, because you just don't feel like you could ever get things right. So I've kind of picked up the mythology and the way of thinking that even though we do make plans for our life, there's always something that is God's plan. You know what I mean? And you could pray and hope and wish that God actually answers your prayers. And in most cases, if it is meant for you, He does. But you have to always be open to what God's plan is and going towards what God actually wants for your life. So one thing that I noticed that a lot of my clients, they come to me and they always ask me, like, what's my mission in life? And like, what do you think that I'm supposed to be doing? What's my life purpose? Now, a lot of times when people ask me that, I usually get pretty tripped up. And that's because I feel like my answer to that in most cases could be very limited. Like, don't get me wrong, if I can evidently see your life purpose or what you're aimed to do and you're already on the path, then of course, my words would be, or what I see would be of confirmation, or I can actually see something for you that what you're going to do. But I always find myself getting stumped. And it's a question that I never really like to answer. And that is because I feel like though I have this gift, that I can tap into universal mysteries of the unseen, finding out and knowing who you really are, what your real life path is something that you kind of have to go within, through the lens of God. And I feel like at times if I were to be a person to answer that question, I would be taking on a role of giving you an answer that I actually don't have the capacity to give you. Or it's not a capacity meaning like not being able to answer it, but more or less it would be of reasoning of feeling like I'm taking on a role. It's like how can I say that? It's like having the qualifications to be the Duke, but I am taking on the qualifications of something that a king would do. It's just like I'm just not qualified. And also when it comes to life, like life paths change. I find that when it comes to your life path, like you could do different things, but a lot of times there's always the same theme. You know what I mean? So all in all, like when it comes to like questions like that, and for people when they ask me, I always ask them, like, what are you really passionate about? Like, what is something that you feel like I can do effortlessly because this goes straight to my morale, this goes straight to my makeup and who I am. And that's usually like the best answer to what your life purpose is. It's just a matter of finding the right role that goes with it. I think that a lot of times that, especially when it comes to life itself, we have a hard time leaving things to God, especially like when it comes to relationships, when it comes to, you know, career choices, whatever the case may be. And a lot of times that I get people that come to me and talk to me about relationship issues, and you know, they have this expectation of how they expect a certain relationship they're in is supposed to go, especially when it comes to the effort that they've put into it. They feel like that, you know, it should produce some reward, which is great and all to think, of course. Like everyone should always have a belief in how they want things to be and how they expect the relationship to conduct. But there comes a point where somebody is exercising their free will, and their free will is no longer aligned with yours. And there comes a time where you just have to accept that. And I feel like a lot of times people have the fear of letting go. And sometimes I feel like a lot of people, like, you know, some people's fear is being alone. But a lot of time people's fear is not even the fact of being alone. It's the fact of being wrong, or the fact of feeling like they put so much into something and they didn't get what they want, or they didn't get anything out of it. And a lot of times it's like all the signs are there. It's just that us as people refuse to let go. And I feel like in life there's times that people, I wouldn't say that there's some people that don't believe in God, because definitely there was anyone that had no spiritual belief at all or belief in God, you would be on my channel. There's no way in heck you cannot believe in God and but believe in a psychic or believe in any kind of form of spirituality. That just doesn't go hand in hand. But there's like an anger or resentment to the result. You know what I mean? And sometimes as people, we just have to find ourselves like where we just allow ourselves to really just let go and accept the beauty and the miracle of what can happen if you would just flow with the path that you're being put on. Like, for example, when I started YouTube and I had a whole different mindset of how I was going to approach YouTube. And I literally tried for a year to like form this whole like plan and how I wanted my channel to be and how I wanted everything to go and everything. And, you know, it was actually my brother that got me into doing the celebrity psychic readings, because he used to watch another person on YouTube, and he was like, well, they're doing it and you're good at what you do and you already have your psychic business, like why don't you go on YouTube and do the same thing? And I was like, okay, that probably could be something that I can do just to kind of grow traffic and then start doing what I want to do. But fast forward 3 years later, on and off, I'm still doing the same thing. And I just feel like, you know, one thing that I've been kind of going back and forth with is kind of like, okay, I don't mind reading on celebrities. Like, that's what my viewers like, and I like to make my viewers happy. But, like, what is God's plan for what I'm doing here? Like, what does God really want me to do? You want me to continue on this journey, but at the same time, like, how am I going to do what I love and continue to do your work? And help people and give people what they want at the same time. So that was just like, I'm just up and I just been having this late night thought, like just kind of like, and that's why I just, you know, something got in me to just turn on the camera and just start talking. And hopefully this makes sense to people. I hope, like, I'm like not sitting here like with an over 10-minute video just going off about nonsense, but I just feel like as like we're such special and gifted and blessed human beings. Like, life is such a beautiful struggle. Like, we have such an innate capacity to like learn new things and grow and, you know, take on challenges and achieve them, or allow ourselves to fail, or whatever the case may be, or give birth to new life. And I think a lot of times that we take life for granted and get so caught up in the mundane and so caught up in just like the everyday robotic like system that we are restricted under, and not accept the bigger picture. And I feel like if a lot of people did accept the bigger picture, which the bigger picture is accepting God's plan, accepting universal plan, a lot of us would take our issues and the things that we've gone through with stride. You know what I mean? And just continue and just be like, you know what? Hey, that sucked, but I can't say I didn't learn this. And hey, that sucked, but I can't say that this didn't build me. You know what I mean? And at the same time, you know, you don't want it to be a situation where you're just accepting bullshit your life has experienced. You know, there comes a time where there's a cycle that you just need to come off of. But I just feel like as people, like, we need to leave a little bit more to God. And as a spiritual worker, like, I pride myself on my accuracy, and I pride myself on giving people the best of myself and my ability. But I don't ever want to be regarded as anything bigger than God, or ever be regarded of not being able to take the information I give you and allow it to resonate in a way to give you clarity and cleansing, not to burden you. Because there's a lot of psychics, and this is, I have gone through this in the past, that they want to keep you coming back, so they keep telling you like shit, or try to keep you in this like binding. And it's like, I've always been a person that I pride myself that I never needed to do that, because like I literally rely so much on the universe, and I know the universe will always provide, and I've always been provided for. So I guess like I want to say that as people, like as of readers that come and watch readers and see us and get advice from us, and the advice is great, because like, don't get me wrong, like I have my faithful friends that I really care about that give me readings too on things that I lack clarity on. And just be very mindful of not losing vision of who the Creator is and who God is and what He could really do for you. The message is just a grain of salt, but at the end of the day, we have the power to change, and we have the power to breathe strength into whatever decision that we need to make. And I think I'm just doing this video right now just to kind of strengthen everyone right now, because the full moon's coming in. There's a lot of releasing and letting go and taking of new paths that are happening right now. And I want to just encourage everyone that you can do it. Just really call upon God for guidance, because only through God are you going to be able to, like, He knows what's best for you. And not only that, He will always give you the best. And just, even if you're in a room alone or alone by yourself, like, you're really never alone. And just always know that. So yeah, that's it for my late night rant. It's almost 5 to 4 in the morning. Like, yeah, I really need to cut this out. Well, I can't, because it's the full moon, and people like me, that's energy channelers, are insomnics around this time. So there's that. But yeah, if you guys want to book a reading with me, feel more than welcome to. My information is all in the description box. I will be doing live soon. I guess I'm going to try again tomorrow night, considering I chose at fucking 3 o'clock to do this live feed. But if you have any video ideas, or not even just celebrity stuff, like just anything, like my opinions on, like, if you guys want any spiritual advice on like how you do any, I don't know, like just spiritual stuff, like stones, chakras, and clearings, and all that good stuff, like, leave that in the description box, and I'll gladly do videos on stuff like that, because, you know, I want to be able to teach and give you guys something that you can take away with yourself for, you know, times to come. So I do want to thank you guys so much for your time and rocking with me. May God bless you and the angels protect you. Good night.